go into the barbershops, I generally don't stand up and talk like this here, okay? We sit around, we talk about sports, we talk about all different types of different things, what the community want to talk about. There's a lot of questions that people have. I don't want to sit up here and just lecture because I don't believe in lecturing, okay? We have a barbershop program in Irving that we started 3 years ago, where we're going into the different shops and we're talking. We're giving the customers and we're giving the barbers an opportunity to ask us questions, okay? We have a good relationship with the shops in Irving right now. I just left Washington, D.C., met with the Attorney General there. I met with the NAACP there. They like this here program that we're doing now. So we're trying to get this here on a national level. We're trying to get it into Dallas, Fort Worth area. I know some of you people, some of you guys are from South Carolina and other places across the country. We're trying to spread this here just so we can build this here relationship. Now, having said this, there are questions from you guys, because I don't like to sit here and lecture. I don't like to do it. And this is the thing right here. No matter what the question is, ask. Feel free to ask the questions. If it's something that you want to know about policing, ask. I have no problem. I'll be honest with you if I know the answer. If I don't know the answer, I just tell you also.
So how should a routine traffic stop go for someone that's has a CHL?
Okay, you got a CHL. First of all, you have to present your CHL to the officer. Is that correct? Do you have a CHL?
I do.
What is a CHL?
I'm sorry, concealed handgun license. It's a concealed handgun license, all right? And I walk up to your car, you have a concealed handgun license. First thing you should say is, officer, just want to let you know I have a weapon in the car. I have a CHL, concealed handgun license. And then the next thing I'm gonna say is, where's your weapon at? Well, a lot of times they say, well, I don't have it on me. Seriously, a lot of times they happen. Or they'll say it's in my glove box.
Right.
And then I'm gonna give you instructions on what I want you to do at that time, okay? Sometimes I may separate you from the weapon. I may ask you, well, come on, let's step outside of the car, okay? Now, if the weather is bad, it's a different story. So it really depends. But the first thing you need to do is tell that officer that you have a handgun in the car. Now, speaking of handguns, can you carry a gun in the car? Now, here in Texas.
Yes.
Without a CHL, concealed handgun license, that's correct. You do not have to have a concealed handgun license to carry a weapon in the car in Texas right now. Best thing you to do is, if you get stopped by an officer, if you do have a handgun in that vehicle, officer, I just want to let you know I do have a weapon in the car. It's in the glove box, or it's up under the seat, it's wherever. But the biggest thing is reduce that anxiety for the officer, so that everybody walks away okay. Don't just reach up under the seat and say, hey, here's my gun. Don't do that. That is bad. That is real bad if you do something like that. Communicate with the officer, tell them, I have a gun, I have it at this location, that location, okay? So you good on that?
But what about mental health and drugs? I mean, you're not equipped to handle those sorts of issues, I'm guessing. So how do you work with that community to help those issues get addressed so you have less issue overall?
Well, let me tell you about mental health and drugs. We have a mental health team. A lot of agencies now are forming these mental health units. Irving, we have, I believe, 4 officers on that now. So when we do have these mental health crises, then they can respond to that and they can deal with it. Otherwise, we're trained also on how to deal with people with mental health issues. Now, another experience I had in school, I went into it was a private school in Irving. There was a guy that was inside the school. He had his shirt off. Supposedly he had a gun. That's the way the call came out. And I was one of the first officers on the scene. So I go in and I had about 4 coworkers. We just spread out throughout the school looking for this guy. So I find this guy, he's in there, he assaulted a teacher. He was an adult, he didn't go to that school, he just walked into the school. So we had to deal with him. It's just he and I at first. I asked him to get on the ground, he got on the ground, okay? I went to try to handcuff him, then the fight was on. It was me, then my coworker came, and at the time, we didn't have a taser. This was probably about 6 years ago. So we didn't have any tasers. And I'm gonna tell you about tasers, guys, also. I definitely need to tell you about the tasers. So, we fighting this guy on the ground, just 2 officers. So I called for another unit. We had other officers running code 3 lights and siren to get there. Because I'm not assigned to the patrol division, that's why at that time I did not have a taser, okay? So, we fight this guy on the ground, fight him. It's obvious that this guy is just super, super strong. So, and my partner, he was bigger than I was. This guy was a little guy. I'm saying this guy had to weigh a good 150 pounds. About 5'8", somewhere like that, you know. He's just pushing us off of him. So finally we get a taser in there. We tasered this guy about 4 times. Didn't work. Now, we have someone here from the mental health unit. You know what excited delirium is? Have you ever heard of excited delirium? Excited delirium is when someone is on these drugs, it makes them superhuman. It's like a Superman. And I mean, it makes you super strong. And we tasered the guy, like I said, 4 times, didn't work. We had about 6 officers there. We finally were able to get this guy handcuffed. There's a high percentage, and I believe it's around 70-some% of people that has this excited delirium, they die in police custody. And then it's like, oh my God, the police have killed him. No, it's because of the drugs, it's because of that excited delirium. A lot of people die. So I'm fighting this guy, and I was like, man, something's wrong with this here. Something's definitely wrong with this guy right here. First thing I do is I get on the radio and I call for the fire department. For paramedics. Took that guy straight to the hospital. I didn't know about excited delirium at that time. I learned about it later. I learned that the taser didn't work on people like that. It don't work. It's like, give me more, give me some more, give me some more. So a lot of people think that, oh, when the use of force come in, it's like, why didn't they just taser him? Taser probably work about 70% of the time if we can get the proper placement of the taser. Taser is not a solution for all of the problems, especially people that's on drugs. Because it won't even phase them sometimes.
I had a question about, I saw that Attorney General Barr recently made some comments about the community needs to have more respect for the police. If not, maybe those communities don't need the police. What do you think about that, and how does that affect us who are
Attorney General Barr's comment. I was there at the ceremony. And what he was saying, from what I believe, is as far as having the respect for the police officers and everything like this here. What I said at the beginning today is we need to get officers in our communities, okay? We gotta get officers in our communities, okay? We gotta encourage officers. Don't discourage officers from coming to our communities policing. What Attorney General Barr, I gotta give him respect, was saying is, hey guys, you disrespect the police and this and that, then they probably not gonna want to come into your neighborhoods and police. Well, we need the police in the communities policing. I can't sit up here and say what police officers will not do. Attorney General Barr, I can't say that what happened in Baltimore, officers sat on their hands, but it looks that way. That's why we need to encourage these officers to go into these neighborhoods and police. We need to get officers in Dallas into these neighborhoods. And this is why we created that barbershop program, so that officers will go into the neighborhood and they'll build that relationship with the community. So when something do happen, then it's like they can call up, hey, Officer John, this is what's going on in my neighborhood. I'm tired of this here. I'm fed up with it. That's community relationships with the police, okay? Baltimore officers just stopped contacting people. People end up dying. So maybe that's what, I don't have no way of knowing exactly what Attorney General Barr was saying, but we do have to have the police engaged in the community. So, any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
You were talking about the taser and how you have to hit a person in a particular spot for it to be effective. I was curious about that because I don't like violence, and I was looking at a taser as something, a form of protection, but it's not sounding like that's a good idea according to what you're saying.
Well, I'm not saying that it's not a good idea. I'm saying that it's not foolproof, okay? Because with the tasers that we carry, there's 2 probes, okay, that shoots out. And if you do not hit them with both probes, if you hit them with one probe, they can take that probe and then that's it. And people think that, oh, how come they didn't just shoot with the taser? Shoot them with the taser. That's one reason right there. Is tasers they're pretty good. Like I say, I would say about 70% effective from what I have seen. But if somebody's running at you with a knife and you pull that taser out and you try to hit them with that taser or shoot them with that taser and you only get one probe, guess what? There's a good chance you're gonna get hit with that knife. One of the questions that come up all the time, and then I'm gonna finish up here, is, why is it the police always shooting people to kill them? Well, I can tell you, we train to shoot center mass. We don't train to kill people. Where's the lady with the concealed handgun license? What I tell people in the shops, when I go into the different shops, we're trained to shoot center mass. The reality of it is we, the police, are not perfect shots. Trust me, like I said, I've been an officer over 28 years. I miss a lot. When I go to the shooting range to shoot at a target that's standing still versus a target that's moving. This is not TV where we can shoot a gun out of someone's hand or shoot an arm or a leg. This is not TV. But I tell people that all the time, and people are like, really? Why y'all have to shoot people in the chest and the leg in the chest versus the arms, the limbs, and things like this here? Because look at it. What's the biggest target? If we shoot at the arm and little Johnny is behind the person that we're attempting to shoot, guess what? We want that officer arrested. We want him arrested. He just shot this person. Okay? Concealed handgun license, CHL, they teach the same thing. Shoot center mass. The military, they teach the same thing. Shoot center mass. It's no different. But on social media, people are saying, how can they shoot the arm, the leg? Prime example, in Arlington recently here, an Arlington officer went to shoot a dog. He missed and killed the lady behind him. I think some of you guys may have heard about that. The dog is a smaller target. But he done lost his job. He may be prosecuted, I don't know. But that's the reality of it. As much training as this officer has went through, he missed the dog and killed the lady. And I guess the lady was being attacked by the dog. It happens, guys, and that's the reality, and like I said, I'll be straight with you, and I try to make some sense into why we do some of the things that we do, So, anything else? Yes, ma'am.
How many officers do you currently have involved with the Shop Talk program, and after you retire, how do you plan to keep it ongoing?
Right now, we have several officers. I can't tell you exact numbers, but what we try to do with the Shop Talk program is the majority of these Shop Talk programs are African Americans shops, and we have the other officers. We have Caucasian, Hispanic officers going into the shops because this is what the African Americans say. We do not want to hear from you guys, the black guys. That's what they say. We don't want to hear from y'all. We want to hear from the other races. And that makes sense. That makes sense. Some of the officers, when I first took them into the shops, they were a little bit nervous about going in there because they didn't know how they would be perceived. They came out laughing and joking. One of our officers for Thanksgiving, Sergeant Grant Williams, he has a great relationship with one of the shops. We're having a Christmas toy giveaway at one of the shops in Irving, where we're gathering up a bunch of toys. We're gonna feed 2 families. We're gonna get a family, I think it's like $400 and some gift certificate from Walmart, because we partnered up with One Community, which is a nonprofit organization. They're trying to take us outside of Irving. We're trying to get into Dallas. We're trying to go into Fort Worth, all of the surrounding areas. And this is one of the reasons I was in Washington last week meeting with NAACP on the national level and some other organizations. But once I leave, I will make sure there's a replacement, because this is important to keep this relationship going. And in Irving, it's great. It is great. I mean, because when the barbers have problems, now they can reach out, and the salon owners, the females, because they told me make sure you get the females involved also. Yeah. I was told, hey, Larry at 504 Barbershop there in Irving, he said, Plunkett, we need to get the females involved also. And I did that. And that's great. We have the females involved in it. They're getting ready to go through this rape prevention class in Irving now, next month. So that's good. So they do a lot of different things. The females also, they help us out a lot. So that's a good thing there. So, but that was one of my downfalls right there. I didn't have the females involved in it. I was just going to the guys. But hey, the females are great, because when we have these different events, they're the ones that's really pushing the events. We have events like, for Christmas, I told you about that. Officer Williams, he went and they bought, on their shift, they bought several boxes, and they gave them out to different families for Thanksgiving, without even saying anything at all to me. This is one of the things this officer did. So these are several families that received Thanksgiving meals, thanks to this here officer right here. We then had some of our rookie officers. We have our rookie officers attend the luncheon. We have a quarterly luncheon, and I'm gonna close this real quick here. We have a quarterly lunch where the barbers come in and they meet with the chief, and the rookies come in also, the new officers. And one of the officers, he is a Caucasian officer, he met with the barbers. He started going to the barbershop to get haircuts. That's a plus right there.
Yeah.
That's the type of relationship that we have. That's the type of relationship that we need to build in Dallas, Fort Worth, and all over. So we have these relationships, because the barbers, they call you. Trust me, they'll call you when there's a problem. Mr. DJ, yeah, come on, I know I see him back there, he's moving. And you know what, and I want you to engage more, so tell everyone who you are.
I'm DJ Smooth with the B from 94.5 and 97.9 B. But me as like an African American man, I get stopped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like just driving down the street, he going this way, I'm going this way. I get stopped a lot. So
what city do you live in? Where you get stopped at?
I live in Arlington, but
Okay.
I mean I'm always all over the place. And I do a lot of traveling around the country. I get stopped all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but a lot of police come up to me aggressive from the time I get stopped. Not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
They'll make up something, change lanes, doing 72 and 70, all kind of the same, deals. So, like, do they give them a special type of psychological training before they go out to de-escalate a situation? Because most of the time it seems like they come aggressive from the jump.
Well, let me tell you this here. As I said earlier, I don't know if you was in here, when I get stopped, I'm nervous. Now, it's just the fact of this uniform, it's the lights. People think that it is aggressive. I'm not saying that what you're saying is not, okay? When we approach a traffic stop, okay, we're going there supposedly in a professional manner, and some people may feel like, hey, this is a little bit too much right here, but we go in there until we can determine that this is not a dangerous situation. This is why I was telling people That's why I tell people that, hey, when you get stopped, keep your hands on the steering wheel, roll your windows down, okay? At nighttime, turn that dome light on, don't reach, and stuff like this here. Just listen to what the officers say. A lot of times the traffic stop will go smooth. The officer, we're trained in the academy, it's called a 7-step violator. We're supposed to come up and we're supposed to greet you. Hello, sir. My name is Officer so-and-so with the Irving Police Department, blah, blah, you stopped for blah, blah, blah reason, on and on and on, and everything else, you know. I make a traffic stop, I'm gonna walk up to the car. If you feel like you're being treated unfairly, if you feel like that officer is overly aggressive, don't just talk about it on social media. Don't just talk about, you know, we must start addressing this here with police supervisors. Don't just talk amongst ourselves. We need to address this here with the supervisor, especially now it's on video.
Are people afraid that if they do that, that someone's going to come back and retaliate?
No, I have never heard of an incident like that. Now, especially when you're just traveling through a city, like myself when I was going from Fort Polk, Louisiana to Dallas, you know, I probably never run into that officer again, probably.
But if you live there.
Now, if you live there, okay, and you're being harassed by that particular officer, then you need to address it, and you need to take it to the city manager, you need to take it to the police chief, and it will be dealt with. And if you continue to get stopped by that officer, then that right there will give you some grounds for either a lawsuit or a complaint. Because I can tell you right now, most police departments that I know of will not accept any type of retaliation coming from an officer. Now, like I say, I've only been an officer 28 years. I can speak for Irving and some of the surrounding areas that I have never heard of retaliation like that. But, you know, I don't know what goes on up north in the United States, in some of them New York and places like that, Chicago, I don't know. But I can tell you in Irving, it would not happen.